One email. Written by a Google engineer, accidentally leaked to the public, and it changed the entire artificial intelligence industry overnight. Not a product launch, not a billion-dollar investment, not a scientific breakthrough. One internal document, written on a Friday afternoon by a single Google researcher. That document exposed the most uncomfortable truth in Silicon Valley. Google and OpenAI had been spending billions building AI, locked in an arms race. This one engineer looked at everything happening around him and wrote 4 words that shattered every assumption. We have no moat. To understand why this was so explosive, you need to understand the state of AI in early 2023. ChatGPT had become a global phenomenon. Google was in panic mode. They had rushed Bard to market, and it had embarrassed them with a factually wrong answer in the launch demo. The conventional wisdom was clear. This was a 2-horse race between OpenAI and Google. 2 companies with vast resources and proprietary models. The narrative was one of scarcity. Advanced AI was scarce. The companies that owned it had a moat, a competitive advantage nearly impossible to cross. Then on May 4th, 2023, that narrative collapsed. A document appeared on a public server titled, "We Have No Moat, and Neither Does OpenAI." The document began with a devastating assessment. Google and OpenAI were fundamentally vulnerable to something they hadn't taken seriously: open source AI. In February 2023, Meta had accidentally released the weights of their LLaMA model. It leaked beyond their control and stunned everyone. Within weeks, the open source community had transformed it. Developers working for free made it run on laptops, personal computers, and even phones. Alpaca. Stanford researchers fine-tuned LLaMA for just $600. OpenAI had spent over $100 million training GPT-4. Vicuna claimed 90% of ChatGPT's quality. GPT-4 all ran on a laptop without an internet connection. The barrier to entry was vanishing. The engineer's conclusion was blunt. Google and OpenAI were in a moat-building competition, but someone had already drained the moat. The engineer argued that moats were illusory. AI models could be trained on public data, and model weights could be fine-tuned by anyone. The person positioned to win? Meta. Releasing LLaMA was a strategic masterstroke, seeding an ecosystem that would make closed AI difficult to justify. When the memo leaked, the reaction was immediate. Some argued closed models were still better. Others found the argument deeply compelling. Google's response was swift. They accelerated plans to release their own open-source models, like the Gemma series, to support the community. Meta made their strategy explicit with LLaMA 2 and LLaMA 3. They were intentionally building the ecosystem the memo had predicted. The memo teaches lessons beyond AI. Lesson 1. Competitive advantages decay faster than realized. Barriers to entry can erode in weeks. Lesson 2. Open source is a strategic weapon. Meta used it to commoditize AI and undermine competitors who charged for closed models. In Lesson 3. Distributed communities move faster than centralized organizations, surprising institutions that rely on hierarchy and budget cycles. Lesson 4. The truth that threatens your business model is the most important to hear. Intellectual honesty is rare and valuable. One email. One engineer willing to say what everyone could see, but nobody wanted to admit. And the industry was never the same. Does open source AI eventually win over closed models? Drop your prediction in the comments. I am Shadow Tech. See you in the next one.